Alan, tell us about Nefarious.
Nefarious, yes. So, I would have completely, there we go. I would have completely passed on Nefarious if it weren't for the fact that you, our viewers, wanted me to watch it, and I finally did. And now I get why. Not only that, I get why it's, I believe it's like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, yet with a 98% audience score. This is an interesting movie. It's basically Sean Patrick Flannery. He plays, let me get the guy's name here. He plays Nefarious. He's a criminal on death row. He's about to be executed. Jordan Belfi plays the psychiatrist who has to go in, deem him worthy, mentally worthy of being executed. And when he goes in, they have this meeting. We find out that Nefarious is actually a prisoner who is possessed by a demon. And I'm going, okay, this is interesting. And now it becomes this battle between the psychiatrist and this maybe demon. And they kind of go back and forth. And then midway through, it talks about how this is a talking movie. It's a conversation. And it gets into the idea of demons and angels and how their place in the world. And about a third of the way through, I realized, oh my gosh, this is a faith-based movie. And so, yeah, I know. So this is a rated R horror faith-based movie. It is written and directed by the guys who brought us God's Not Dead and God's Not Dead Part 2. This is a full-on Christian movie. And what was weird to me is, I don't know why I feel like I'm the one breaking this news, but everyone that I've seen talk about it, and when I've seen it in interviews and things like that, they dance around this fact that no, this is faith-based. This is about Christianity. This is about, I would liken this movie essentially to a modern day Screw Tape Letters, because it really is about this discussion of evil, how evil has pervaded the world and seems much more intense, and how this, how the world of demons kind of falls into that. There's an interesting, because I will tell you, at about the 1/3 mark, the discussion becomes about abortion.
What?
Yeah, I know. Because at one point, this demon tells the psychiatrist that he's going to commit 3 murders before he's killed, and before the execution. And the first one is by encouraging his girlfriend to get an abortion. So there's the first murder. And so let's just break it down like this. I personally, as a Christian myself, as one who went to seminary, I have a full-on divinity degree. I actually like this movie. I like the discussion of the movie. Like I said, it reminds me, it's not the Screw Tape Letters, but it reminds me of the Screw Tape Letters in the sense of, where the protagonist is essentially a demon. Yeah. And so, in the horror elements, it opens with a mysterious death. There are certainly things, the way the film is shot, the discussions that Sean Patrick Flannery has, the way he acts, some of the movements he makes gives it a horror tone. But it's pretty much a discussion about good and evil. I will say this: Sean Patrick Flannery, he's really good in this movie in terms of he plays a guy who is possessed by a demon and kind of switches in and out. And the way the little nuances about his performance are really good. But all that said, I do have I don't know if I have to warn you it's a faith movie, but it is, and I think that's why people are reacting to it. When I got on Rotten Tomatoes, a lot of the comments were basically this is Christian propaganda.
But it's okay. So well, quick question then. I first of all, there's a lot of propaganda going around when it comes to film these days. You can hardly watch a documentary without it being weighted one way or the other. There's 2 questions I have. One, I don't mind if something's faith-based. You know what I mean? Like, I also feel like there's a sad lack of religion in films where it could be necessary. I remember watching movies like The Omen when I was a kid and being incredibly frightened because that's all in the Bible. It could happen. It's going to happen. And then in addition to that, so it's faith-based, that doesn't dissuade me. But the one thing I hear, it's basically the entire movie is two people talking in a room.
Yep.
Is that true?
Yes. I would say it's 90% of the movie.
Wow.
But it's like I said, I'm a big fan of Screw Tape Letters. That's what reminded me of it. I was fairly engaged. It's the conversation is well researched. Let's go back to the abortion thing. They liken abortion basically to the old times when the pagans were killing babies. So they liken abortion to that, this pagan ritual. How, let's just say I've seen plenty of videos of actresses who have great careers and they all thank the abortion they had early on in their life. And then you get from killing babies and you take the next logical step to now we're mutilating children. This is kind of the theme of what they're trying to get behind, the subtext of what they're getting behind in these conversations.
Well, all right. Would you recommend this film?
Yeah, I would recommend it. I think, if I were, it's a faith-based movie. And so whatever your attitudes toward that are, that's certainly going to affect the way you view.
Well, I mean, I saw the trailer and it looks really intense. I mean, I get the premise of it, right? It looks super intense.